this sheet is going to be your introduction to the revolution, and it is also going to have your vocabulary on it. So in your history folder, what I would do, sorry, I gotta create a folder real quick because I don't, well, I mean, I have tons of folders, but I'm gonna create a new one. American history folder. All right, so this way you guys can kind of, you're gonna be basically creating a folder within a folder. So in your folder, go into it and then create a new folder and call it American Revolution. And then what I would like for you to do is to take this document and put it in that folder. And then that way everything within, like all your revolution stuff is going to be in a folder and not all of your things get mixed up and messed up. So that's going to be my first piece of advice to do. Okay, so all year long we're going to have one of these 5 standards per unit. So basically, we just have to figure out what is going to be the best standard to go with the revolution. So we have choices that have consequences. Individuals have rights and responsibilities. Societies are shaped by beliefs, ideas, and diversity. Societies experience and continually change over time. Relationships among people, places, ideas, and environments are dynamic. And so the thing that really obviously goes the best with the revolution is, this is me being crazy, is individuals have rights and responsibilities, because as individuals we have the right and responsibility to overthrow an oppressive government. So in America, if we have a crazy leader in power, then we need to do something about it. We need to go vote on November 3rd, or we need to go overthrow that leader, or we need to have a revolution or a civil war or something. If we just sit on our butt and complain, then we're doing the exact opposite of what our founding fathers wanted us to do. So on your sheet, what you need to do is go ahead and go and type responsibilities. Okay? And it's not a big deal if it capitalizes it, but since I get annoyed with it, I'm going to go and fix it. Okay, so then the next thing that we always have a state standard, and we always have an essential question. And in this question, it says, were the revolutionists justified in their actions and American patriots, or did they commit treason? So this is the reason why you have the word justified and treason on your vocab. So on your sheet, the only thing that you need to fill in is, were the revolutionists justified in their actions and American patriots, or did they commit treason? For some reason it is bold, but that is okay. And then we always have a theme, so everything in the units connects back to this theme. And we have 2 themes this year, and one of them is oppression. So in this unit, we're really going to focus on how the British oppressed us and why we decided to go cray-cray and, beat their butt. So all of these pictures here do a good job of visualizing oppression. And so, all these little people getting stomped down by the big man and all this. And the big definition is unjust or cruel exercise of authority or excessive use of power, a sense of being weighed down by body or mind. And all you guys are going to have to write down is unjust or cruel exercise of authority or excessive use of power. So on your end, all you have to do is go unjust or cruel exercise of authority. That's it. Okay. And then here, you're going to have to find this. I'm not going to do this for you, but you need to find like a current day issue that you think is oppressive, or you need to find an event in history that you think is oppressive, and you're going to insert the picture here. Now, if you have a image in mind, you can go to insert image, but do this search the web thing, okay? And look up that oppressive event. That means you can't steal slavery. You can't do it. And then just drag it over to this image or this box. And I know on your iPads it's really annoying. It doesn't let you do this. It's not a big deal. You will be fine. So that's an easy way to get images, and you don't have to go in and screenshot them and all that stuff. Okay? So just a little tip for you. Looks like I need to delete that. Okay, so now these are our vocab words. So I'm going to go through and show you guys the pictures of them. I've already kind of shortened down these definitions just a little bit. In years past, the kids had to write out all the definition. You guys are getting it pre-typed and highlighted, so your life is like super easy. But tyranny, not tyranny, tyranny is a government that has absolute power given to a single ruler, like North Korea, obviously, or like Hitler when he was around. Crazy people that are in power, and they have all the power. Like when Kim Jong-un's dad died, Kim Jong-il, when he died, all these people had to stay out and cry. Like they had to be out and cry, and if they weren't crying and going ballistic, they'd get thrown in jail. That seems pretty bananas, doesn't it? Anyway, so, or a cruel or oppressive government. So there are governments out there that do really cruel, crazy things to their people, and luckily you guys don't live in one of those. So that's nice. But we can think of oppressive things in America, but we're talking about these really terrible governments that will not let their people do anything. I know I keep going back to North Korea, but I mean, like, they do some crazy stuff there. If you speak out against the government at all, they can throw your butt in jail for 3 years. And they have this weird policy, like, if I went to try to kill the leader or something, obviously I'd probably get killed first. But the next 3 generations of my children will now go to prison. So, like, let's say I had some kids, they all go to prison. Then their kids go to prison. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so treason, a crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the head of the government or overthrow the government. So technically, in the American Revolution, did we commit treason? Did we overthrow the government? Yes, we did. We committed treason. But most people think it's justified. And so that's what I'm asking you to decide. Are our actions an action of treason, or do you think they were justified? So you can justify any treasonous action. It just has to be, dependent on what you think. So, what I am going to have you guys do now, so here you have tyranny, you have treason. You are going to have to take this and turn it into your own definition. And then I want you to use your brain, not Google, on synonyms and antonyms. I am really nice, and I will help you out with synonyms and antonyms. I'll give you a few in this video. And as you guys are working on this, if you ask for my help in the classroom, I will help you. But do not Google. Please don't, okay? So I will be nice and help you out with an example for tyranny. So you notice you can use this in a sentence. So here's an easy sentence. North Korea has a tyrannical government. Definition. You don't have to do both. Crazy leaders have all of the power. The people have none. Okay? So you just take the definition, summarize, make it your own. Okay? And I'm really simplistic with synonyms. Synonyms, I'm fine with you just thinking of an example. So with this, we can think of an example of a country that has a tyrannical government. Keep going back to North Korea. Use it. Okay? An antonym, democracy, where people have say and people can, vote. What a shocker. Okay? And then we're going to insert the image. So use that tool, press insert, and then when you go to image, click search the web. you can do a search like this and see what pops up. And if nothing good pops up, like I kind of like that actually, but if nothing good pops up, like think of like something specific and look for that. And what's nice is it fits to your box. Isn't that nice? So that's special. So like if you wanted to, you could put Kim Jong. I cannot spell today. Un. And scroll it over to there. Definition of treason, and I've kind of explained it. So just betraying your government, attempting to kill the leader, all these kinds of things. Definition, you need to create your own here. And then a synonym is like, so we see that it's a betrayal or overthrowing. So you could even put like rebellion. You could put stabbing in the back, that kind of thing, and then put your image. Now, you're going to be deciding if, when we had our revolution, if we committed treason or if our actions were justified. And I've already told you, I mean, obviously our actions were treasonous, but you just need to decide, were they justified actions? Sorry, I'm going to delete this extra picture of Lady Liberty. So students always think they're justified. I mean, not always, but there's quite a few young preteens who think all their actions are justified and everybody else is ruining their life and blah, 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 blah. So you guys are very well versed at thinking that you are right and reasonable in all of your actions. So that's what you are going to decide. Even though when we had our revolution, I mean, we clearly committed treason, but many, many Americans would say our actions were justified, especially when you find out what the British did to us. It's pretty appalling. So you're going to create your own definition of that, and then a synonym. If you want, you can use 8th grader here. I think they are often justified, or you could use preteen. But obviously, if you think you're right or reasonable, you think you're correct. So you can use any of those synonyms, and then you have to come up with your antonym, and then put in your image. And then obviously, since we're learning about the revolution, we gained independence, which I know you guys have a pretty good idea what independence means, but we're talking not about individual independence, we're talking about independence of the country. So our country became not dependent on Great Britain. We were no longer affiliated with Great Britain. We were self-governing ourselves. So, like, for example, Puerto Rico has an interesting relationship with the United States. They're self-governing and kind of independent, but the United States will step in and help them with natural disasters. Like they had a hurricane a long time ago, and the U.S. got criticized because they didn't feel like we did enough help for Puerto Rico. And then, like, if someone were to invade Puerto Rico, the American government would come in and assist. And then Puerto Ricans are actually considered American citizens, so they can come over to the U.S. at any time. So it's an interesting relationship that they have some independence, but not complete independence. Whereas America, we are completely independent, and like if someone were to invade us, we would have to take care of ourselves. We have to figure out our own money issues and foreign affairs and deal with our own natural disasters and things like that. So on your word independence, I'm going to help you out with this definition just because sometimes the easy ones can be hard. So an obvious synonym is free. You could say doesn't rely on anyone else or another country, something like that. Okay, then you just got to put your image in. So I have helped you out with all the synonyms. You guys will need to come up with your definitions, at least on 3 of them. You need to come up with your own antonyms and then put in your pictures. So it's pretty easy. And then once you're done, you submit the assignment onto Canvas. Okay, Please study these words because you will have a quiz over your vocab words. All right.